This is The Ring's Mike Coppinger, and we're here with boxing superstar David Benavidez here in New York City. We're getting ready to promote David's fight against Anthony Yarde, WBC title defense. It's going to be November 22nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. David, thank you for being with us. And I feel like this has been, a few years in the making maybe. I know you were talking to Turki Al-Sheikh in the past, and now it's happening. Why is it such a big move for you in your career?
So I'm really excited because at this moment where I'm at in my career, I finished my last fight with David Morrell. It was a great fight. So I think, I'm in a great moment in my career right now. The people know I'm the best in the world, and the people know that I'll fight anybody. So now that we're on the other side of the street, now these big fights are really possible to be made happen. And now there's not going to be no excuse to anybody outpricing themselves out because we're right here, in Riyadh, season anything is possible.
Yeah, and all the big names that you want are on this side of the street, so to speak, like you said. Canelo Alvarez, we don't know if he's going to fight you, but he's on that side now with a few more fights left on the deal. Obviously, Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol have been in that system. I fought twice against each other, and those would really be the three biggest names for you, right?
Yeah. So right now, like I said, we're trying to get the winner out of Bivol. We're the #1 contender for that fight. We weren't able to get it. So like what we're trying to do, we're trying to get the biggest fights possible. Right now, this is the first step of making that happen. Anthony Yarde, he's a great fighter. He's a fighter with a lot of experience. He's a tough fighter. I think he's 27-2, 27-3 with 24 knockouts. So he's definitely no pushover. But like I said, this is my opportunity to show the world I am the best and continue to beat the best opposition out.
Yeah, and I like this fight too because Anthony Yarde is an action fighter. We saw him against Beterbiev. He had Beterbiev hurt. That was a tremendous fight. Yeah. And against Sergey Kovalev, he had Kovalev in big trouble too. Yeah. So he's no joke. And I think this is going to help you build your market in the UK too, right?
Yeah, so he's definitely a fighter that always comes hungry. And these are the types of fighters I like to fight against. I don't run from nobody. I'd rather go into war than it to be a technical fight, to be honest with you. And this is what the people want to see. So Anthony Yarde, this is maybe his last opportunity. I wanted to say his last opportunity, but this is, the opportunity for him is going to be hard to come by. After I beat him, you know what I mean? But he knows this is an opportunity for him to become world champion. He's going to be working extremely hard. I know Anthony Yarde is no pushover, so I'm working extremely hard too. So at the end of the day, you're just going to get two great fighters that have a lot to prove, not only to themselves but to the world, that they're the best fighters in the world, and that spells the making of a great fight.
Yeah, not just two fighters with something to prove, but two guys who always lay it all on the line.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any running around in this fight. No. I think you guys are not going to be able. You're going to be finding each other right in the center of the ring.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I just want to get the fans the best fights possible. And I know what I can do. I'm getting stronger every year, and I feel, have so much experience now that, I want to go against anybody. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely going to go in there and beat every single person and put the light heavyweight division on notice and let everybody know that David Benavidez is not going nowhere.
Yeah, and you make a good point, David. Anthony Yarde, he's already fought for a title twice and lost. If he loses a third title shot, so you're probably expecting somebody that's going to lay it all on the line and knows it's last chance saloon.
Yeah, so this is a fighter that's probably even more dangerous than when he fought Beterbiev or Sergey Kovalev because his back is against the wall. So like I said, I'm coming in extremely focused, extremely motivated, and if he wants to go to war, well, let's go to war. I'm going to show the world who the best one is.
Why do you think more fighters don't have the David Benavidez mentality where they're willing to take on all challengers? Obviously, you're a big star. You're coming bigger and bigger every month, and you're coming off the biggest win of your career. No one's looking to fight David Morrell, but you were fine with it.
I think it's because I'm a young veteran in this game. This is my 11th year going pro. You know what I mean? So I've been asking for the biggest opportunities, and I've been proving the world that I'm worthy of fighting these big names. And I think it's just, once you make money and it goes past to the point where you want something that money can't buy. Money can't buy the respect from the people. Money can't buy you having heart. Money can't buy all these things that that are throwback fighters. That's just really what I want to be. I really don't care about the fame. I don't care about nothing else. I just want to be known as one of the greatest fighters and a fighter that never backed down from nobody.
Look, I think you're a guy that has a great shot, as good a shot as anybody, to be the next face of boxing. Do you think you're doing everything now in your power to do that?
Yeah, definitely. I think I would have been the face of boxing already if I would have got the fight with Canelo, or if I would have got the fight with Bivol, or Beterbiev, any of these guys. But the good thing about it is I'm still young. I'm still 28, and I feel like I still got another 10 to 15 years left in me. So I feel like these next 5 years, I'm definitely going to prove to the world why I'm going to go down in history as a legend, because I'm going to take a fight against anybody, and I'm going to guarantee you I'm going to beat everybody. And not only by a little bit, I'm going to beat them by a large margin. And that's really what I want to do. You know, I outwork everybody. I work in the gym every single day, and I'm, you know, super motivated. And this is my passion. This is really what I want. I don't want nothing else but besides to be the greatest boxer of all time.
Yeah, and it absolutely shows. And I know you're a boxing fan as well. You fought on some big cards, shared cards with Gervonta Davis, with PBC, but now you're going to be in the main event against Anthony Yarde, and this card is insane.
Yeah.
You have Devin Haney, Brian Norman, you have Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes, and you have a great fight between Bam Rodriguez and Fernando Martinez.
So this is a good thing about me that I feel like I've been doing lately. You know, I fought with Gervonta Davis, and then now we're on this card with Abdullah Mason, Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr., Bam Bam Rodriguez. You know, this card is going to be an amazing card from top to bottom. And this is what I want to do as a boxer. I feel like it's our job to give the fans what they want to see, to make it as action-packed as possible. You know, Turki Al-Sheikh came in, he made this card happen, and you know, this is an amazing card. This is me as a fan, I'm excited just looking at this card because every fighter on here has so much talent, and everybody on this card has so much to prove. So this is definitely going to be one of the best cards for years to come.
Yeah, and I seen your answer, and I know just the way you carry yourself, like you get it. It's not just about you, but when you're a big name in the sport, it's about lifting the sport up too and being an ambassador for boxing.
Yeah, and also showing the kids and the younger generation that, you know what, if you're just, sometimes some people, they're just trying to, you know, they're trying to milk their career. They're just trying to be undefeated their whole career. If you keep doing that, you're never going to know how great you are. You got to take these chances where a fight might look like, oh, damn, it's 50-50. You know, I don't know if I'm going to win, but I'm going to go in there and I'm going to try to win every single round. And that's how you reach greatness. You know, at the end of the day, like I said, it's our job to teach the next generation of how to become great and what a real fighter with pride should look like. And I feel like we're doing a good job on that.
Yeah, and speaking of, I think David Morrell has a bright career too still. I know he lost to you, but what I really like about this fight on Saturday against Mamkatayev is that we always see guys come up their first loss, especially guys as talented as Morrell. They take maybe 2-3 easy fights. Not him. Is this refreshing to you?
Yeah, I seen that, and I seen the guy that he was fighting. He's a tough guy. I just seen that he came positive for steroids also. That's the only thing that's kind of a little iffy on that. But David Morrell, he's a great fighter, and I did an interview earlier, I'm like, he keeps saying that he wants to do a rematch. Well, yeah, let's do it. Let him win a couple fights, let me win a couple fights, and let's make the fight bigger. The fans know they're going to get a great fight at the end of the day. So, like, I think that just shows how much, you know, that was my hardest fight. Some fighters be like, no, I'm not fighting him no more. No, I want to fight him again, actually. And that's going to happen in the future, but you know, both of us, we got to go on our own separate paths right now, but we'll definitely meet up again in the future.
Yeah, that's valid. In a few years, or it's going to be a big and bigger fight. But speaking of steroids, you know, we've had a kind of a rash of steroid positives in the last couple of months. The latest one is Francisco Rodriguez, who beat Galiafai. It was a great performance, but you know, he popped now. What are your thoughts on all of this?
I think it's just crazy, man. I feel like, you know, once you have 7 different fighters that come up positive in your camp, you know, for performance-enhancing drugs, I think somebody should take a look at that camp like, hey, what are they doing in there? You know what I mean? But nobody wants to ask questions. Nobody wants to say anything. So it's not even, I find that kind of really messed up, and it's really biased because if it was our camp, we had 7 guys coming out positive for steroids, they'd be like, man, you guys need to take that guy's license away. You can't let him move around like that. And we would be suspended right away. But, you know, the cash cow always wins. You know, some people like to stay quiet. Some people don't like to say nothing. But that's 7 guys. That's 7 different people. That's 7 different people. And that's just something that you cannot ignore it no more.
Yeah, and then obviously you're referring to Eddie Reynoso. Reynoso came out with a statement, said that he doesn't train Rodriguez. It was sponsorship with the No Boxing, No Life patch. And he obviously did train Jaime Munguia, said he had nothing to do with his nutrition. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I just feel like everybody's going to say that. Oh, they don't know what happened. Or I think just Canelo needs to stop having barbecues at his house. That's what needs to stop happening.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue in the sport, and I think the only way to resolve it, right, is that everyone needs to be on 365 testing. Are you in support of that?
I'm support that. It's just crazy that, you know, I didn't really know how big of the problem with steroids was, but people really be out here taking steroids. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like that that takes away from you as a man if you're trying to be as good as you can, and then you have to take another performance-enhancing drug to get there. That kind of takes away from chasing the greatness. But I mean, that's just the way I think. I don't know how everybody else thinks. You know, I don't cut corners. When it's time to train, I'm not scared of hard work. I'll work 3-4 months, and that's just how it is with me. But I don't know how other people think.
It's not surprised though, right? When you're talking about the kind of level you're fighting at, the stakes, And
it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. It's just like that Rocky movie. You know what I mean? Where Rocky Balboa is there working hard, he's cutting wood, doing this and that, and then the Russian guy is taking his
Drago, yeah.
So it's just like that. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's more common nowadays.
Well, speaking of Russians, we don't think they're doing PEDs.
No, I'm not saying there's no correlation with that.
No, just as a segue.
Yeah. Good thing you said that.
I'm not saying that. Dimitri Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, they're two of the best fighters in the whole sport. They're both on the pound for pound list. They're stars. It would seem to me that it's going to happen next year. You're going to fight one of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. It kind of seems like the case with me is like, oh, he's going to fight him eventually. And then I never fight whoever I'm supposed to fight. You know what I mean? But I think Dimitri Bivol, he has a little bit more honor. Not a little bit more. He has more honor. You know, I think he's a more honorable fighter, and he does stuff. He doesn't just do stuff for money. He does stuff for honor. So if they're going to get that fight with Beterbiev, then they could do that. I have no problem with that, but I'm still number one, and I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for my opportunity. Or actually, now I'm the world champion. I forgot about that. But but I want his belts. I want his belts, and I think it's just like like I said, we owe it we owe it for the fans, and we owe it for the younger generations. We're both here, and we're both in our prime. Why are we not fighting? I mean, it's kind of silly to me, but hopefully we get that fight next week, either with him or with Beterbiev. Yeah,
and you're building a great resume. You know, you're knocking everyone out. Now you're at 175, and David Morrell is the biggest victory of your career. But you still haven't faced somebody on the level of a Bivol Beterbiev. But I imagine that's what gets you excited.
Yeah, it definitely what gets me excited, and I know it's going to happen one day. Like I said, when it happens, I'm gonna be more than ready for it because I got so much experience now. You know, not only just with fighting good fighters, but fighting in big fights, big events. So I'm just ready for whenever that time comes. You know, I'm steady ready, and then whenever it happens, you know, I'm gonna take my shot.
And now you're settling in at 175. I believe this is going to be your third fight at light heavyweight. We saw your big power at 168. Are we going to see a knockout against Anthony Yarde on November 22nd?
To be honest with you, I'm going to tell you something that I've learned from when I was younger. Every time I wouldn't think about knockout, I'd get the knockout. And when I say I'm going to knock somebody out, it's kind of a little bit harder to come. So I'm going to work behind my jab. You know, I'm going to focus on my training. I will be trying to hurt him every single round, you know, but if the knockout doesn't come, the knockout doesn't come. But I'm really going to try to hurt him as much as I can. And, you know, I got to do things right. Now I'm looking at it. Now I realize things, you know, you got to go back to the fundamentals. You got to work things right, open them up, and then when he's wide open, hit him with the body shot. So, you know, we got some good stuff coming, so I'm excited for this.
Now you're at 175, like we said. Canelo Alvarez has fought twice at 175. He's now at 168. But do you think you're actually going to get that fight? Because I don't want to give you a lot of credit. We've seen a lot of fighters over the years when they're chasing this big star, and they kind of wait around taking easy fights. You didn't do that. You said, I'm going to move on with my career.
Yeah.
What do you think happens?
To be honest with you, bro, I'm gonna tell you like this. If I never get that fight, I'll be fine with it. I'm fine with it. Cause I'm staying in my lane. I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to beat the other best in the world. But if that fight does happen, you know, I'm gonna be ready for it. And it's looking like it could happen. I have the belt at 175. Canelo says he only fights for greatness. He only fights for titles. That's what excites him. So now I got a title. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to keep winning these fights. And I'm not thinking about Canelo. But if it does happen, we're going to be ready.
And look, you're a big boxing fan. You know the sport as well as anybody as a top fighter. What are your thoughts on Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford?
I don't like it because Terence Crawford is coming up 3 weight classes. Yeah. I don't want to say that he doesn't have the ability to hurt him. He obviously does. He's really technically sound. He's a great fighter. But sometimes when 3 weight classes is different. It's like if I would go up right now trying to fight
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua or Gypsy King, you know what I mean? Like I believe I could win if I don't get hit, but if I get hit, you know what I mean, that you got to worry about that. So that's really just where I'm at with that. But I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. You know, you never want to doubt Terence Crawford out, but you know there's weight classes for a reason. And lastly, Anthony Yarde, we mentioned how much is on the line for him. What are you expecting out of his game? I'm expecting him to, be the best Anthony Yarde he is. You know, he's sharp. You know, he has good reflex. He has good defense. So this is why we took this fight, because he does a lot of stuff good, and that's what's gonna motivate me, to go in there, be on my P's and Q's, and make it a fight. At the end of the day, it looks like a juicy fight. It looks like he's not gonna back up. I'm not gonna back up. So we're doing it for the fans. I'm expecting this to be the best Anthony Yarde that anybody's ever seen. But that's going to be good. That's what I want. I want to go, when it's time to go to war, I never run from nobody. All right, David, thank you so much, and we can't wait for the fight. Thank you, brother.